My name is Bill Symons, and I work for the Saskatoon Fire Department, and I am a Fire Inspector Investigator. My job entails mainly fire inspections, so interacting with people and businesses, some residential, some commercial, and our role is to assist with fire inspections, making sure building safety is up to standards, educating the public in fire safety, and just the roles and responsibilities as a building owner they need to have in order to make their building safe for their occupants and for their building itself. So a typical work day would be we start in the morning at about 7:45. We have a main meeting, and then from there we usually try to do scheduled inspections and some unscheduled inspections. I do like to surprise people every once in a while, because that's when things are at their most normal, is when you show up unannounced. And we'll go through buildings. We'll usually take the building representative who's in charge of safety through a building. We'll do inspections. We'll check the fire extinguishers. We'll check the emergency exits. Wintertime, make sure they're clear. Look at all their fire alarm and sprinkler records. Check their emergency evacuation plans, that sort of thing. And then ask if they have any questions, if they need any assistance on implementing any other safety plans or anything like that, just to help them make sure everybody's safe and gets home at the end of the day. I've been in emergency services for probably the last 20 years. Started as a firefighter and decided I wanted to be into fire inspections. And so I got my certification for fire inspections. And one of the job qualifications for being a fire inspector is you also have to be a fire investigator. So with that, we train to be fire investigators. There's a few of us that are new now in fire investigations. So we take turns being on call for that. So anytime throughout the day, if there's a fire and they're looking for an investigator, they'll give us a call, and we pretty much have to drop what we're doing and head over to the fire. And that's kind of the fun part of it, because you get to investigate and see how things happened and the reason why all your inspections are important, because sometimes it leads to the cause of the fire, and you can use that later on down the road for educational purposes. Well, the fire inspector training, I took that one online just due to COVID. Classroom sessions weren't really available for that. So I did an online course and then a proctored exam. I had a guy come in and we had to do some scenarios and whatnot for that. And then with the fire investigator course, that was a week-long course taken internally with the other 3 members that got hired when I did. We did in-class sessions, we did all our training in class, and then we were put out into the field with a senior investigator to just do some practical work and practical evaluations out in the field until we were certified. For somebody looking to get into this profession, there's always a need for new people, younger people. The codes are always changing, fire codes are always changing, they're always updating. So if you like interacting with people, positive and negatively, sometimes they don't see things the way they should, and you have to educate them. There's always room for more people. There's so much to do. There's so much new buildings going on. There's so many even old buildings that need help, need work. Just there's so much to do, and the public education portion is huge. Plus the public safety factor of it. So yeah, there's lots and lots to do. You have to be personable, and hopefully most of us are personable, because you're telling somebody that they have to do something that they may have never done. It may cost them money, things that they didn't think they had to do. You have to persuade them that this is part of the deal. It's code, it's required. I like to give them some analysis as to if you don't do this, these are some of the consequences that could happen, and give them some real life cases and help educate them as to why this is important. Just knowing that because you asked them to make the change, they made the change, that should never be a problem if there's ever an emergency in the building. Some advice I give to people getting into this field is take any aspect of training you can for whatever field. Saskatoon Fire Department, if you're into the firefighting or the public education or the emergency management portion or the EMT portion, it's all valuable. It's all good for the general public. And just because you get into one portion of it doesn't mean you can't branch out into another portion. Just keep learning. That's the best way to go.